This is one of the darkest corners of the internet, a space where women calling themselves femcels are posting extreme and sometimes violent content. There's jokes about killing all the men, having a plague, getting rid of them all, disgusting moid.
What's moid?
Like a derogatory term for men. I know that incel misogyny broke out of the internet forums and into the real world when Elliot Rodgers shot and killed 6 people in 2014.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution.
Is there a genuine risk that femcels might go the same way incels have?
What's the darkest thing you've ever seen in one of those? Oh my God, I can't watch that. I actually can't do this. I want to shoot every one of their off with a BB gun.
I want to go inside the femcel community to find out who these women really are. Are they the female equivalent of incels? And just how extreme might they be? If you start researching the word femcel, it pops up all over the internet. There's femcel book lists. There are femcel Spotify playlists, which is just loads of Lana Del Rey. The femcel hashtag on TikTok has nearly 1 billion views. It feels like it's a real identity. That's quite ironic and self-deprecating. And then you have this other end of the spectrum, which is a quite extreme misandry and these forums where people are discussing being a femcel and what that means and seeing it as quite an ideological worldview. It feels pretty dark in here. There's like posts here saying, I think all men should start off in jail and prove their way out. It just feels so much broader than I'd first anticipated. The first step is to try and get into some of the femcel forums.
Hey Ellie, I've just got access to a Discord server which has got a few femcels and incels in there.
Okay, so that takes me into a server and it looks like I'm on the holding page where I've got to answer 7 questions. Discord's essentially a modern day chat room where people can have real-time conversations with people in private servers, and often you have to be invited into those servers and accepted in order to have a chat. It says this is a server for femcels and incels. If you're a normie, you'll be banned on site. This is not a place for you. Go back to Reddit. And I'm chatting to a femcel, Al. So she says that she's been part of this community for 3 to 4 years, and she said she finds it very comforting to have the femcel term almost as a security blanket. I'll ask her what she means by that. She said she's had good and bad experiences, most of the bad experiences usually because of incels. She mentioned that she does have some distaste for men, so I'm curious as to what that is. I'd really love to try and meet Al in real life. I feel like she's exactly who I need to speak to try and get my head around what it means to be a femcel. I've literally just had a message back from Al and she's agreed to meet with me. I just don't know what to expect. It's really hard to know from a few conversations online how immersed in this world she is and how extreme her views are. I think this is like a real launch pad to like understand where to go next. You describe yourself as a femcel. What does that mean to you?
Femcel to me just means someone who has, gone through enough life experiences with men to sort of have this disdain for them. And it shouldn't be an insult to us. We are involuntary celibate. We do hold these radicalized feminist views, so why not make a community out of it? 3 years ago or so, you would have been able to go onto Reddit and find communities made purely just to post pictures of men, or to, dox men, or do anything like these to just basically ruin the lives of a man.
What are your views on men as a whole then?
I don't hate them particularly. I constantly feel threatened, especially in relationships. I don't really show emotions to them. I don't, give them the time of day.
So would you describe yourself as involuntary celibate?
I'm not celibate, nor involuntarily. And I suppose a lot of people in the femcel community who are involuntary celibate would consider me a fake cel, which is someone who's just basically lying about being a part of the community. I just hold a lot of their views.
For incels, it's the lack of sexual and relationship experience that makes them an incel, whereas for femcels like Al, it is the past experiences that make them consider themselves femcels. It feels like Al's found this online community of like-minded people who may have had similar experiences, and that is her definition of a femcel. And I'm really interested in trying to find out whether that's the case across the board, because it feels like it's a lot more complex than just being about sex. This time I'm looking in the most public online spaces.
So I set up a new TikTok account a few days ago, and I've just been engaging with content that I think is kind of linked to the femcel aesthetic or the femcel community. So it's a lot of stuff about eating disorders, a lot of like nihilistic mental health content that talks about not wanting to get better, not being able to get better, feeling very helpless. It feels like it's way more about finding a space online to share feelings of loneliness and frustration than it is any kind of movement. But I have seen a lot of evidence of femcels directing their anger and that sadness inwards, and I want to understand where that's coming from.
Hey Ellie, I'm setting up a call with a woman I've been speaking to in one of the femcel subreddits. She doesn't actually identify as a femcel, but you need to hear what she's got to say.
If I was to use the word femcel, what would that mean to you?
There are negative connotations with that word because it's so incel adjacent. And obviously incels are associated with extremism, violence, misogyny, that sort of thing. So for me, it's hard to escape from that negative meaning of the word.
Have you had any relationship experience?
I've never had a relationship, unfortunately. I've never had any sort of experience past a kiss. I do feel shame about it because I'm 28. I feel like I'm going to be 60 odd, 70, and I'm just going to have lived my life alone. And it's scary and it's depressing and isolating. The thing that is wrong with me is my facial appearance.
It's tricky for me because I don't want to be another person who you feel is dismissing your feelings, but it's hard for me to look at you because I just don't see you as unattractive at all. Why do you think it's that?
I suppose my body dysmorphic disorder, but also because of the fact that I've never seen anyone be attracted to me. I personally find myself very unattractive, and I think that I just apply that to everyone else. I get a lot of stares, get a lot of people might smirk, things like that, and I just think, yeah, it's because of what my face looks like. And when I go to these communities, you see lots of women who have experienced the same thing. It's nice in a way to have that validation that you're not crazy, that you're not wrong, and that it actually does happen. It's a place where I pretty much go every day just to read experiences, and it makes me feel a little bit better because I feel less alone.
The more women that I speak to in these spaces, the less worried I am about any kind of violence, and the more worried I am about the women themselves and their mental health. It feels like there's a real difference between the way femcel communities are dealing with feelings of isolation and loneliness and the way the incel communities are dealing with the same feelings. I think I need to try and speak to someone with an insight into both these worlds to understand it better. So I found a pretty big femcel influencer, content creator who posts a lot on YouTube about her experience as a femcel. Her name is Kidology.
When I reflect on why I haven't been in an intimate relationship, it isn't because I am picky. Every man that I have shown interest in has not reciprocated my feelings.
The videos where you speak about the femcel community, who tends to engage with that the most?
That's definitely a majority male audience. When I talk about sort of, especially inceldom, when I talk about things about physical attractiveness, about looks, that definitely does attract men. I think the algorithm has sort of associated me with those sort of topics.
How do femcels and incels differ, either in their experiences or in their online identities?
I would say that incels very much see the world as the problems, particularly modern society and feminism and the ability for women to be far more picky about their partners, about who they have sex with, about who they form relationships with. Whereas most femcels that I've sort of seen online especially tend to see it as something that's wrong with them or something internal, especially their looks and having low self-esteem, low confidence, and that it's sort of something that they have to work on in order to eventually find those relationships.
So femcel spaces might not be particularly violent, but I know that some femcels are spending time in online spaces with incels, and I wonder what impact that might have.
Al has some access to secret incel and femcel groups, so I'm going to see if she can get me into them. I'm on my way to meet Al again and another girl that she lives with who also identifies as a femcel. I'm feeling quite nervous actually. I've got no idea what they're going to tell me or what they're going to show me.
So what's the main things that you've found about the femcel community?
To me, it seems like more of a kind of like space for women online.
It's deeply hidden in the way that you have to know someone in a server or somewhere on the internet to do it. They even think that you might be a police officer or anything like that. They'll immediately just kick you. So you kind of have to almost blend in. And to blend in, you have to be a part of these communities for at least a year.
I'd love to see some of the servers if you could show me the ones that you're in.
Servers like this, they'll have a channel and it will last 24 hours. Everything will be deleted. It'll be started again tomorrow morning. And so it's hard to navigate, which is why it's really difficult to track. There is like a lot of crude things like this, obviously, and incel like sexualizing women. And these characters are supposed to be young girls. This sort of humor is spread around. It's a kids' TV show, and it's just the caption of, you know, rape, rape, rape. And that's supposed to be absolutely hilarious.
What's the darkest thing you've ever seen in one of those?
I've been sent videos of women being raped.
I mean, how old were you the first time you saw something like that?
I would have been around 14. Youngest I'd seen gore was probably 11. There was a server that my housemate was in, and the server was a very harsh and psychotic server.
Do you think she could maybe show us?
I think she could. Yeah, I think she'd be willing.
It was this server that was advertised as like femcels and incels only, you know, extreme gore, extreme views. Do not enter if you're normal.
Have you had any experiences in real life that you think have informed either, you know, your opinion on men now or why you're in these spaces online?
Yeah, I met a guy online when I was pretty young. He actually like sexually assaulted me basically. It's happened 3 times to me.
I had a similar relationship when I was 14. I didn't know that me saying no and him continuing to do it was wrong at all. It's happened multiple times in relationships. Multiple.
What's your experience largely been like as part of this femcel world?
Seeing like bad stuff, like people killing themselves, seeing people getting bullied, getting doxxed. I don't enjoy it, but at that time I was so bored. I was like, well, this is entertaining to me. I obviously know now that was like fucked up and wrong, but at the time I was depressed enough to be like, well, I'm killing myself anyway, so why not?
What do you think the draw is for people to come back to that content over and over again?
It's like a sickening addiction, I think, that a lot of people really are struggling to get over with. It gives you like this sense of just being trapped. And you can't go to your parents to talk about it because you've seen awful things. You're going to be judged. You said awful things.
Fundamentally, you're lonely. You feel isolated. You can't talk to your family. You can't talk to your teacher.
How much of a contributing factor is some of the violence that we've seen in the incel community, that desensitization to violence?
Desensitization is like a huge thing. You do see it and you're like, interesting. You move on. You see another thing. You move on. After years and years on the internet, you cope, almost. It is desensitization.
It feels to me like what I've seen so far, incels has the danger of spilling out into violent acts against other people. And it feels like the most violent things we're seeing in the femcel community are affecting femcels.
Men are taught it's kind of fine for you to lash out on other people, whereas women, well, constantly, well, it's your fault. I'm blaming you for it. Women will blame themselves for it. Like I said, these people ripped, molested, bullied, disowned by their own families, and society does teach these women, it's your fault, these things happen to you. And that makes the most radical femcels to me. Although femcels, incels have the similarity of anxiety, depression, bad lives, how it's self-internalized from like what we teach is like a huge difference.
How much danger do you think there is that we could see a woman end up as violent as someone like Elliot Rodgers from this community?
I do think there is potential for like a real violent act. I think we will get there. And the world will go, oh my God, how did she do that? And I actually don't think it proves anything. Like specifically like, oh my God, women can do this too. I wouldn't see it like that. I'd say like, well, you let incels do it. You know, you let this happen. You let men get mentally ill. You know, you didn't let men express their emotions. You didn't get them the mental help that they needed, and then they shot a place up. And now you know, women are getting more mentally ill, I think something like that will happen in a couple of years and the world will be shocked and will go, oh my God, like, how could this happen? But I expect it, to be honest.
You got that thread still, or you got anything that you can show me from that?
I don't have that specifically, but I do have some content from there.
Oh my God.
This was something that multiple people did in the server, like...
I can't watch that.
I know. It's hard to see, but as a group, maybe 4 or 5 people did this specifically.
Can you describe what's happening?
So they're cutting a square. That's her eating it. You know, they're bleeding. She's smiling, like that's funny for her. And she's like commentating this. She's even edited this video, by the way, to show her like the 5 minutes of her eating her own flesh. Like,
I actually can't do, can't do this.
Yeah, that one's fucking crazy. Or like for advertisement, you know, stuff like that.
What is that?
Basically this girl, she joins the VC, she fucking cuts herself. She does like sexual acts on camera. We don't even know who this person is.
Actually,
I know it is a lot, genuinely.
I actually find it so upsetting. I think I don't think I expected it to be.
It is like quite moving. Even for me looking back at this now, considering I'm out of it, I'm like, what the fuck? How did I tolerate that on the daily?
I actually feel like, yeah, I actually feel like I can't.
Oh, do you want me to like flip it off?
Oh, yeah. I've actually just had to dip out of the room because I was not expecting to see anything quite like that. That's really, really shocked me. I'm not sure that I can watch any more of that content. I think that's probably gonna have to be enough for tonight. So I came into this thinking that I was trying to investigate what a femcel is and what that community is and what it means. I almost think that the word kind of doesn't matter, and it's so much broader than just this like idea of a femcel, because everyone I meet feels quite different and they inhabit sort of different spaces online, but the overarching thing that's connecting them, I think, is loneliness. And I think that's what draws them to these online spaces. And I think that that is the initial feeling that then creates resentment and extreme cases, hatred and anger. Owl and Anthrax, when they were deep, deep in those servers, the things they were telling me, the things they were showing me, it didn't feel very different at all to the things I've seen in incel forums. The real danger here is danger to the women in those servers. They are incredibly vulnerable, and I think that is what's really, really scary.